Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. UHWI responds to accusations about special treatment given to Health Minister. Schedule for PEP exams will proceed as planned despite poor weather conditions. And later in sports, time changed for World Cup qualifier. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shamela Pullen. Here are the details. Officials at the University Hospital of the West Indies, UHWI, are on the defensive this afternoon. This amid claims by the PNP that Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton received a special treatment after his crash on Sunday.
At this hospital, in my last 35 years, no one is given preferential treatment. All patients are treated alike.
Dr. Praminant Singh is a consultant emergency medicine physician who has been caring for Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton. Dr. Singh, as well as other members of staff at the UHWI, have come under fire by the opposition for giving Dr. Tufton special treatment after he was admitted at the facility on Sunday. But according to Dr. Singh, like other patients, the Health Minister had to go through a triage process, which was used to determine the urgency of care.
Depending on the level in which the patient is categorized, would depend, like I said, the urgency for treatment. So in a triage process, it is not a first come, first served basis. The triage levels are range from 1 to 5, with 1 being the most severe and the level 5 being at the bottom with less severity.
Dr. Singh says the hospital's triage system ensures that patients receive timely and appropriate care, regardless of their status or position.
For example, somebody who comes in with a toothache and maybe ahead of somebody who comes or arrives at the hospital like someone who comes in with chest pain. That person with chest pain who arrives after the one with a toothache is going to be seen earlier. We always get from time to time, quarrels, I am here first. That's not the way the system operates. It operates on the fact of the urgency of the care. I was a consultant on duty. I cannot get into the specifics of the minister's injuries. That, is patient confidentiality. But based on what took place, being an accident and therefore being labeled as a polytrauma, that goes at the top of the list is level 2, basically, in the emergency severity index.
Dr. Singh further explained that Dr. Tufton was admitted at a time when the patient load was low. Dr. Tufton was admitted to the UHWI after he was knocked off his bicycle by a vehicle driven by dancehall entertainer Valiant. He received injuries to his hand and foot. Dr. Tufton is in stable condition and is now recovering. Primary exit profile PEP examinations for today and tomorrow will proceed as planned. This despite severe weather conditions affecting the island. In a media release today, the Ministry of Education says it is aware of the unease at several primary schools being used as exam centers. The ministry says measures are put in place to ensure the safety and convenience of students. Where students are affected, they will be allowed to sit the exam at the school nearest to where they live. The teenager charged with the murder of his classmate at a Catholic college in Mandeville last month was remanded when he appeared in the Manchester Family Court Tuesday. He is to return to court on July 16. The 17-year-old is also charged with wounding with intent. He is accused of fatally stabbing 20-year-old Akeelia White on May 13 during a dispute at the school in Williamsfield. The Area 1 police says it continues to be faced with challenges curbing criminal activities plaguing the various parishes. Acting Assistant Commissioner of Police Glenford Miller says a series of operations are currently underway in Westmoreland, Trelawney, Hanover and St. James. So far, 2 persons have been killed while confronting the lawmen and illegal weapons recovered.
This morning, a rifle along with a handgun was actually seized and some persons taken into custody. In the Hanover space, a pistol was seized, 1 man arrested, and while the police had a search warrant, they went to Green Island, where they were actually confronted during the execution of the warrant. A man actually pointed a firearm at the police, who immediately defended themselves, and he was fatally arrested. Another man hearing what was happening actually running into the direction of the police with a firearm. And the police actually seized that firearm and he was fatally arrested also.
Green Island, Hanover is under the police's radar as that space has seen some 12 murders so far this year. He has this warning for criminals.
Persons of interest, you know yourself. Bring in yourself, come in with your pastor, come in with your lawyers. But you need to come to the police, so that we can clear up any ambiguities or any accusations that you believe that was made against you. So we are appealing to you to come into the police. And I'm appealing to the criminals. When my police officers come for you, surrender. Don't try to confront my police officers. My police officers, they are trained to defend themselves and defend the citizens of this country. And that they will do.
We want to see action. The comments from residents in Negril, Westmoreland in response to news that funds have been allocated to carry out road repairs in the West End. They are calling for the agencies responsible for carrying out the work to move with urgency. Anthony Lugg reports.
It's been 2 weeks since the funds were allocated to repair the roadway leading to West End in Negril, Westmoreland, as well as the retaining wall which collapsed due to the raging sea in February. While residents and tourism stakeholders welcome the news,
I'm still not pleased. I want to see start. I want to see, yes, I must fix. I want next place around this up.
the road rehabilitation program could take some time, as the National Water Commission will be installing new pipes before the roadway is paved. This taxi operator is hoping the agencies involved will move with urgency. Like many others, he too has grown frustrated with what they've had to endure.
It's a shame for what's going on here. A place like Negril generate so much US dollar for the country, and look how they treat me. Oh, come on, man.
The area near the breakaway has been dumped and caution tapes were installed. However, residents say it's a danger waiting to happen. We're told it's scarier at nights.
Lots of work to be done here along this wall, along the roadway leading to West End Negril. The people we spoke with say it can't come any sooner. With over $80 million allocated to construct the wall here, it's left to be seen how long it will take.
This is a big problem this year. You see me? We have to drive by the sidewalk sometime. Because when the water they come here, so they come right over in here, you know.
The work to repair the breakaway is expected to last 4 months. Anthony Lugg, TVJ News.
In the meantime, residents in some St. Catherine communities are also calling for action as they face a water shortage. At the recent town hall meeting, they expressed frustration about the ongoing problem. There are also issues with a reliable electricity supply. Mayor of Spanish Town, Norman Scott, says he was disappointed about the absence of the GPS from the meeting.
They said they were coming and they have not.
One resident called on the National Water Commission NWC to provide answers and solutions to resolve the water shortage.
You're not getting water, so it's not going to encourage us because you want your money, right? You want the water, but if you're not getting the water, other person say, okay, I'm paying my bill and I'm not getting the water. So at the end of the day, it's not encouraging to come to NWC and pay a bill when really and truly I don't know if I'm going to get any water in my pipe.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. Major changes are coming to the screening and hiring procedures of the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. The announcement was made at the CPFSA's 20th anniversary church service in Portmore on the weekend. The changes will be part of efforts to enhance child safety and security measures.
Strengthening our workforce capacity is also crucial. We aim to reduce the caseloads of our investigators to be in line with international benchmarks and improve the monitoring of our child care facilities. We also endeavor to expand the psychological and mental health support services, as this is a priority for us, especially with what is happening with our children in Jamaica today.
The agency is also working to improve the adoption process in Jamaica.
CPFSA is also committed to reducing the time that it takes for children to be adopted by streamlining procedures, strengthening accountability, and amending the Adoption Act. We will introduce what we call an early warning system, which aims to detect and to respond to children who are at risk, to also coordinate case management systems, and to strengthen our protective interventions through community mobilization and public education.
The St. James Municipal Corporation has initiated the Youth Climate Action Fund program, a $7.5 million initiative aimed at fostering climate solutions in Montego Bay, St. James through the active involvement of young people. This groundbreaking initiative is backed by Bloomberg Philanthropies in partnership with United Cities Local Governments and the Bloomberg Center for Public Innovation at Johns Hopkins University, USA. Speaking at the launch on Thursday, Mayor of Montego Bay, Richard Vernon, highlighted the importance of youth development in the parish.
So the Youth Climate Action Fund is important to the city leadership because, one, as I mentioned before, we're a coastal city. We often take it lightly, whether it is real or imagined. Something is happening in the climate. Some refer to it as climate change.
Mr. Vernon went on to explain how the program will allocate grants.
Groups that will submit their applications, their competitive applications that are in alignment with the city goals, and will be selected. You can set your budget from a low of $150,000 to a high of $750,000. Create your projects within that parameter.
The application process commenced on May 30 and is scheduled to conclude on July 1 with the announcement of winning projects set for July 12. It's now time for the Business Minute.
The Bank of Jamaica says almost 7% more counterfeit cotton-based banknotes were detected in 2023. The central bank's annual report says this amounted to 354 notes valued at about $700,000. The BOJ says in 2022, 331 cotton-based fake pieces were detected valued at $600,000. 2023's outturn was equivalent to 1.4 counterfeit banknotes per million genuine banknotes in active circulation. The BOJ says at the end of 2023, it did not detect any counterfeit polymer banknotes. Further afield, AT&T experienced a nationwide outage Tuesday afternoon, but it was resolved a few hours later. According to the company, some sort of glitch prevented AT&T customers from being able to complete calls with other carriers. AT&T customers were able to make calls within the network. Among the areas hit hard by the blackout were Chicago, Dallas, New York City, and Pittsburgh. AT&T officials say 911 calls were not affected by the outage. An investigation into the problem is underway. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Nakinsky Robinson.
And here's a preview of what's coming up in this evening's health report. In this evening's health report, we'll look at asthmatics and heat.
I'm just saying to persons, just be mindful of where you are, what is happening around. If you have a health condition, whether it be asthma, whether it be an underlying heart condition, that this heat wave that we're experiencing may have impact, be cognitive of what is taking place.
That's the health report in Primetime News at 7. Time now for the top.
Robinson.
We head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report with Jordan Fort.